So we would have been married by now. July 11th was actually our wedding day, but
Money so righteous, got a king thinking all type of thing. Just tell me how you want me. Hey, what it do? I'm Allende.
and I'm Zia, and you're
Vibing
with the Vons.
Yeah.
Hey. If you're new to the channel or you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Join the family. Give us a like if you'd like.
Hit that bell for notifications, make sure you subscribe and stay close and tell people that you love, because if you love them, they gonna love you even more for putting them up on the Vons, baby.
Yeah.
What's happening though?
Yeah, so today I'm excited for this video. For some reason, our channel, we don't have a community tab yet. Maybe that's when you hit 1,000 or something, so help us get to 1,000 subscribers so we can interact with you even more with our community tab. But thankfully, I have my channel with Forever X5 with my sisters, and so I went on there and asked you guys, for those who are subscribed to us, what questions you have for us, because I know there's a lot. A lot of you I know are from Forever X5, and so you probably know me, but you don't know Allende yet, so you have a lot of questions for him, for our relationship. If we don't answer all the questions, I literally saw some that were like, oh, we could do a whole video on that, or maybe we answered it already in like the in our boyfriend tag video. So let's start with my girl Yanni Cece. Yannick, she asked, if not California, where would you raise a family? Honestly, I've never lived anywhere outside of California, so as far as like raising a family, I wouldn't really know anywhere outside of California. I love California. I think it's a nice place to raise family. What about you?
Belize.
Belize. You would raise a family in Belize?
Yeah, of course. I think it's a good place with good community and good family vibes still there. Yes, it's a little third worldy in certain parts, but if you could take the money that you're making from America out there, you'll do alright. You should be able to survive and have a great life. So I just like the community. I like being around love and around people that actually care about other people a lot, as opposed to being in this big job called the United States.
So for those of you who don't know, he's Belizean. His family is from Belize. He has family in Belize still right now, so that's where that comes from too.
The Vons and the Hogans, by the way. I know y'all probably asking, all the people that do know anybody from Belize, well, what's the last name? Yeah, the Vons, the Hogans.
Yeah, both of his parents are Belizean, so.
Yeah, it's a few more in there, but those are the main bloodlines.
Phoenix O asks, what is it like living together before marriage? How did your parents feel about y'all making that decision? What is it like? I'd prefer at least living together first and knowing each other in and out, living together, all that before heading into a marriage. So what it was like, we learned a lot from each other by living together. So it's like pretty much we know everything. So when we get married, it's like there's no surprises, So that's why I like it.
For me, it didn't feel different than what I would normally be used to, because when you go visit people or you go hang with them at their house, if you're spending a night or you're spending a lot of time with them, it's really just the difference of you staying overnight or you not staying overnight, you know what I mean? So I never really looked at it like it was a big deal. It just happened and it just continues to happen. So the way I look at it is like, don't make it a big deal, don't force it, and it's not gonna feel like some crazy thing. But I'm also elaborate more on that question, because maybe you meant also too, like, the experience of it. I do agree with Zia. Like, I think that it could be a great idea for most people to actually live with their significant other that they do plan on living the rest of their life with early on, before they make that full-on commitment on paperwork, to give that lifelong partnership, because it might be some determining factor, some final little thing that they do that just break the camel back for you that you can't deal with. There are people I know some people that live next door to each other and been married for years. You know, they just can't sleep in the same house with each other, you know, without strangling each other, you know. But like, however it works for you, however you make it work, but it's good for you to kind of start finding that out. I don't think you need to be in front of a courtroom or in front of any type of person that tells you it's time to start seeing your process. You'll know when it's time, and you do it yourself.
And then as far as how our parents felt, my parents support every decision I make. They know that, you know, that I have a good head on my shoulders. So they were just fine with it. They didn't feel any type of way. They didn't say anything. They were just like, okay. It wasn't a big deal or anything.
Yeah.
Because we were pretty young. I mean, pretty like 18 or 19 years old. I was 19.
About 20. I mean, like, in my family, like, in Belizean culture, you know, we very family oriented, but at the same time, the males, you want to strongly encourage your son to get on his feet and start getting out and doing things on his own from early. So my dad was perfectly fine with me finding a girlfriend and staying out and doing things that a regular man or a guy should do. He was perfectly fine with that because it's growth, you know. But it's just the women is different, you know. You keep them close, you gotta protect them as long as you can, you know. And you show them the ways. So my parents were supportive.
Okay, so Bree Lynn, she had a lot of questions, so I'm just gonna go through and pick a few. Does your fiance have siblings?
Yes, I do. I have 3 other siblings. I have a older brother and 2 older sisters.
How different were your childhood from one another?
Oh, that's easy. She was square and lived among squares. I lived in the streets, you feel me? But
I lived among squares, not my family.
No, not your your family is the truth.
Literally sure. Small town, city boy.
But South Central city, you know, like we moving at a whole different speed. The exposure you have, you know, at such a young age is much different, you know.
What's a strength of yours that's a weakness for him and vice versa? I would say I'm responsibility-wise, and I wouldn't say that he's not responsible, but I would just say that I'm more organized, responsible, put together, and that's where my strength comes into this relationship.
Where did this big overcast come from? All this overcast, you know what I'm saying? All this shade.
What is yours?
Letting things go. I think that's something that for sure. That's my strength, that I'm able to let certain things go much easier and not let it control me, as opposed to.
You okay? Neck crack? Looks like you're holding on to something. Did you let that one go?
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Do you guys ever have conflict due to cultural differences?
Nah, because our cultures are pretty much the same, because she's half Mexican, I'm full Belizean. Belize and Mexico is pretty damn close to each other, Central America. They eat almost the same type of food. There's a lot of Spanish-speaking individuals inside of Belize. There's a lot of Belizeans in Mexico as well. You know, so the culture is not that much different whatsoever. The same type of family-based type of thing. So.
And even Bermuda
is just the same island vibe.
The island. Caribbean
family roots. You know.
That was one thing that I really loved when I met him, and stood out to me, and was just like, because, I mean, from the town I'm from, I mean, there was nobody that's listening to, like, soca or reggae like that, or, like, I mean, maybe reggae's a little, but, like, soca and Afro beats and just Caribbean music. So it's like, that was one thing that I didn't like growing up, was just, like, I love that music, and there was no one that I could listen or share that love of mine with, because whenever I'd play it for my friends, they're just like, oh, okay, but it's not something that we're all listening to and jamming to and playing to. That's just something I would listen to on my own, just because no one else understood it or knew anything about it or that. So when I met him, I was just like, Wait, what? Like I mean, it's similar. You listen like Belizean, Punta Rock, and stuff like that. It's the same style music. So I was just like, what? That's so cool. Like, I never had anyone or met anyone that like I clicked, like that was my age, like that had the same culture pretty much as me in that way. So
That's pretty dope.
what's the best place you guys have ever traveled together? Well, every place I feel like was fun. I think we love traveling. We've had good experiences each place, because when we go, we really full force like try everything out, or like try the food and do different like sightseeing activities and stuff. What would you think the best place we've traveled?
I'm gonna have to honestly just say Belize, but that's I could be biased about that. But at the same time, for me it was a dope experience. So I'm gonna do 1 and 2 just so that I can get another one too.
I would agree. Belize was a good experience because not only just the culture and it's beautiful, we had a good experience too because we got his parents showed us around and showed us where they grew up and just like the beaches they hung out at and just like little things like that. So that just as far as the experience was like a good vacation and a memorable one. And same with Bermuda. We went to Bermuda and my dad, it's a small island, but that was fun too because it's a family, visiting family and seeing where our families grew up is pretty cool. So
yeah, so the second one I was gonna say was Bermuda, and Bermuda is cracking. It's cool. It's a super beautiful place. She said about the family and everything like that, but just the experience alone was pretty dope. The water from just a small, going around a tiny island, being escorted around by her grandfather, and hearing a different culture. It was dope, man. It was frogs instead of you seeing cockroaches and ants and potato bugs, and when you come out at night or something on the floor, you seeing little lizards, little froggies. You know what I mean? You hearing ribbits instead of crickets. It's a whole different vibe. The iguanas do be violating
Belize.
in Belize though.
There's
Them
so
iguanas,
many iguanas.
and they dookie right on your porch and just get on.
She said, "Do you guys like pupusas?" Yes, we do.
Don't insult me. Whoever said that.
The same girl, Breland. Those were all from Breland. So we asked a lot of. She asked a lot of good questions.
Good job, Breland. But yes.
Okay, ready for the big question? Jakuya, sorry if I butchered it. Jakuya Williams wants to know.
That's Jakuya. What up, Jakuya? Was that in?
Jakuya?
Probably not, but I'm gonna say Jakuya.
Jakuya Williams wants to know, when is the wedding? So we would have been married by now. July 11th was actually our wedding day, but we decided to postpone it till next July. We decided back in, April maybe? That was like around the middle of when everything was getting coronavirus, and so we just had to make that decision if we wanted to postpone it and still try to have the wedding that we really want, where we can invite all our family members and not be worried or put anybody at risk of catching anything, of spreading anything. And then we were thinking, even if we still tried to have it this year, we would have to maybe limit the guest list, and even if we limited the guest list, we would still have to freaking keep a social distance. And it's like, who wants to have a wedding? The main part of the wedding that I'm looking forward to is the celebration of dancing, having fun, hugging, all of that. So it's like
the whole shit.
Everything. So we just decided to postpone it, and thankfully the venue, and we already left deposits for the DJ, the cake, for freaking
It was cool about
everything.
it too, for postponing it and moving it back. It was very cool.
Everyone was cool about it, and just literally they were available July 17th, which is the day. So
we're gonna be turning up with the families, and we're gonna do it like we supposed to. So it's gonna be worth the wait. well worth the wait. Trust me. And the ones that stick around get a chance to see it. Keep vibing with the vines, baby.
Ayy.